were talking previously about vulnerability scanning, and I think we do get this question from clients. We even had one today. What is it? What is vulnerability scanning, and what gets done in that process?
Yeah, I hear it a lot as, what is this and how often do I have to do it?
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's a really good way.
Vulnerability scanning is generally performed by putting some sort of an appliance on your network.
So it's inside, internal?
Inside your network,
Okay.
correct. And that appliance will look at everything with an IP address, for lack of a better description, on that network. It'll look for patch levels, it'll look for configurations, it'll look for things like the multi-function printing device
The copiers and such. Yeah.
that has the default admin username and passwords in there from the manufacturer.
It can actually figure that type of stuff out?
It can pull that back. It knows what those are and tries them to see if they operate properly. It'll look for vulnerabilities that are known vulnerabilities in different types of software, firmware, etc., and bring this information back all into a report with criticality levels associated, high, critical, low, moderate, etc., for what level of risk that vulnerability poses in a network. Now, just because there's a vulnerability doesn't mean that somebody's trying to exploit it or could exploit it, because there may be controls in place that might prevent them from getting to those parts in the network to be able to exploit it. However, knowing the vulnerabilities there, you ought to be working to remediate that stuff and improve your next scan, which brings me to the second half of my question: how often should I be doing this? There's some organizations like, oh, we're going to vulnerability scan every day. It's like, what do you got, a team of 32 people working overnight remediating vulnerabilities? Because otherwise tomorrow's scan is going to look just like today's if you didn't do something about it, right?
Okay. Who's got time to look at it?
Yeah, best practice, depending upon the organization size and the type of data they have, is either quarterly or monthly. Have seen some organizations do it more often than that if they have a dedicated team of people who are going to be dealing with it. But there's no sense to scan it again until you've dealt with some of the things that were there. I mean, new vulnerabilities can arise every day. So theoretically, if you were scanning every day, you'd get a new report and there might be a new vulnerability on there. But the reality is, if you haven't dealt with the 87 that were there from yesterday, finding this new one is probably not going to be the big showstopper. So do it at good regular intervals, do it regularly, and do something with them after you get them done. Because without doing something with them, you just ran a report.
Yeah. In the drawer doesn't do it.
In the drawer does not make you more secure and reduce your risk. That is correct, Bob.
Very good.